D-Mark got that heat. D-Mark got that heat.
All right, welcome back to No Filter MMA. This is your boy BJ, and I am back with another big episode, guys. I am also joined here by my boy Taylor from One Up MMA. You guys go check them out at oneupmma.com. And I am also here with the number 3 ranked top UFC strawweight contender, Tatiana Suarez Padilla. How you doing, Tatiana?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. All right. All right. So let's kick this thing off. So we're not gonna go through the whole, how'd you start, whatever. We're just gonna get straight to the meat because there's a lot of stuff that we want to ask. So
Nice.
to start off, Tatiana, I want to know what is your thoughts ahead of this Nina Ansaroff fight. This is a. I mean, aren't both of you tied for number 3 in the strawweight division?
Yeah.
So tell us what's your thoughts going into this fight.
My thoughts. I'm not taking anybody lightly. I never do. So, going into this fight, I'm just, preparing for the fight, and I'm going to be working really hard. I already started, working pretty hard, and so I'm just going to keep it up for the next, 8 weeks. Basically, my goal is to, get there, not injured, and
Right.
just to be, well prepared when I get there, because I do believe she's a game opponent, and I look forward to the scrap. I think it's gonna be an entertaining fight, and I can't wait to just show everybody what I've been working on, and just more of my skill set and everything like that. So yeah.
Man, Tatiana says she says she want to show more of us. Taylor, did you hear that, man? Did she say she wants to show more of her skill set, dude?
That's gonna be insane.
It's gonna be insane. I mean, Tatiana, you ever since the Ultimate Fighter, you know what I'm saying? Like, I watched that season of the Ultimate Fighter, and I was like, man, who is this chick? Tatiana Suarez, man, she beating these girls up, and I said it from back then. I said, this girl's gonna be really good in the UFC. You know what I'm saying? Her wrestling is completely on another level. So tell us, Tatiana, getting this far in the UFC undefeated, you know what I'm saying? When you won the Ultimate Fight, did you think you would be in this position that you're in right now?
Yeah, I mean, I fully believe in myself. I think, years of, wrestling training also have instilled a lot of, confidence in myself throughout
Absolutely.
because I've been competing for so long. So I'm a competitor, and I like to do it, and I love it. And so for me, it's never like a tough thing for me to get up in the morning and go work out and do everything, because I love it. I enjoy it. I just think about, I'll end up reaping the benefits from my hard work in the end. So, yeah, so I don't really feel like, I'm not like doing it. I don't want it, because I really enjoy it and I really love it. I'm very passionate about the sport.
Right. So, Tatiana, I got a question. And this question has been kind of up for debate. You know what I'm saying? Tatiana, how tall are you really?
I'm 5'5".
Okay. Because, I mean, a lot of people say, Tatiana Suarez you know what I'm saying, she looks 5'5", but man, Tatiana Suarez, I mean, she says she's 5'5", but some people say you look like 5'7". I'm
So
like, I mean,
the cage presence is huge.
yeah,
um,
I think that's what it is too, man.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely 5'5", and like a time went to the doctors and they were like, "You're 5'4" and something," and I was like, "No," because I'm always no one ever wants to be shorter than. I definitely didn't want to be shorter than 5'5", so I think that's pretty average. So you know, I think because a lot of the girls that I've fought are very tall, like Viviani wasn't very tall, Carla wasn't very tall, Amanda Bobby Cooper was 5'3", so I definitely look taller than her. The only person that was the same height as me was Alexa Grasso.
Okay, okay, right,
Yeah, and if you look at our stare, like our picture, like our stare down, we're like eye to eye.
right, right.
Yeah. But if you
So
look at my picture with
go ahead.
Carla, that's definitely not eye to eye.
No, most definitely not. No, not at all.
She's very.
So no, go ahead, Tatiana. You go ahead. It's on
Oh
you.
no, she's very small. She's short.
Yeah, absolutely. So another thing I wanted to ask about Tatiana is, you know what I'm saying, why is it that it seems like every time between fights, why does it take so long? You know what I'm saying? Like why do girls not want to fight Tatiana Suarez?
I don't know. I was asking myself the same question. I was like, why don't they want to fight me? You know, and I just didn't. I didn't get it. I don't understand it. I mean, I don't see myself as being scary. Yeah, I mean, I dominate and stuff like that, but um, I just didn't think like I was like a scary. I didn't think I was scary and like those people like want to fight me. That's something that did never cross my mind. You know, so I was like, why doesn't anybody want to fight me? This is so weird. But
But
I
but
don't know.
Tatiana,
To be
when
honest,
these
you have to ask
girls
them.
say what?
I said you're gonna have to ask them because I'd like to know too.
Well, I was getting ready to say, I was going to say, if I was a strawweight, you know what I'm saying, in the UFC, and I turn on the fight card on the TV, and I see this girl going here, Khabibing girls, you know what I'm saying, like, I mean, just pummeling these girls. I'd be scared to fight you too, Tatiana.
Really?
I'm not a strawweight, and I'm still afraid to fight you.
Yeah, like I'm not. Yeah, like we're not even strawweight. We're big guys, you know what I'm saying, and we're still not trying to fight you. I mean, for real. God
That's
Almighty. So, so when you went in there with Carla, the fight with Carla Esparza, you know what I'm saying? I think that really opened a lot of people's eyes to exactly how dangerous that you of a fighter that you are. You know what I'm saying? And I think because a lot of people were saying before you fought Carla Esparza, they were saying, well, Tatiana's all wrestle. You know what I'm saying? She's all wrestling. She's no striking. Can you give us, and I hear all the time, Tatiana says that she is training super hard on her striking. But can you tell us about that so we can kind of clear that up a little bit, Tatiana?
clear what part of it up.
People questioning your striking.
Tell them to come on over and spar.
What? Whoa, whoa!
I
Did you hear that, Taylor?
Wait, what?
She said Tatiana just said tell them to come over and squat up.
Oh shit, she bout that life.
She about that life, bro. She about that life.
Yeah, I just haven't I just haven't had, I haven't needed to show it really. I think for me, what I'm trying to do here is really, go my entire career with, without being, you know, coming out of these fights damaged. I think every fighter, if they're able to minimize the damage that they can in a cage, they should at any cost. So
Yeah.
for me, that's always my most, that's my plan, is to always like get out of the cage with the least amount of damage, because I want a long career, and
Right.
I don't want, I don't want to be messing with my chin until I really need to, until someone could stop my takedown, until I have to start standing up, and at that point, I'm ready. That's why a lot of times I don't even really go for takedowns during my sparring sessions. I go all stand up. I do boxing, just sometimes just boxing, um, stuff like that, and I hardly ever do like some practices. I'll go an entire sparring session without taking one shot because I want to focus on that part too, and I like doing it, and I enjoy it, and it's fun, and it's a different kind of puzzle for me.
Yeah.
Um, you know, grappling is one puzzle for me, and striking is a whole nother puzzle for me. So I like to challenge myself in different ways, and I definitely have it, but it's in my back pocket. So.
Hey, Tatiana. All right. All right. Go ahead, Taylor.
I said I don't know if there's anybody who can stop your takedown, so I don't know if you're ever gonna have to strike. I mean,
Well,
I think Nina might be able to. One question I have is what kind of threats do you think Nina poses to you that you haven't seen before?
um, I don't really, see like, she's kind of similar to the girls I've already fought, besides Carla.
Yeah.
Carla knows how to wrestle a lot, better than Nina does. I mean, you don't really ever see Nina going for shots, so. But I definitely think, she's a similar style to Alexa, actually. I think she has the same, they're the same height. They're both very quick. They both have good boxing, and Alexa also has good kickboxing. But I think Nina, the only difference with Nina is she's a little bit more creative with her kicks, and that's a little bit different than the other two I've seen.
Hmm.
I think Viviani was just solely, she just does boxing. I hardly ever see her kick. Um, but Alexa, I think she's pretty similar to Alexa's style, and Alexa also has good footwork, just like Nina does. So I think they're a little bit similar in that way. But other than that, actually, I was thinking when I saw Nina, I was like, oh, what would be a good matchup is Alexa for Nina, because like they have similar styles.
Yeah, yeah.
So I thought that'd be a good fight, but she ended up having like a win streak as well. So now we're facing, and it's funny because when I saw her that she was gonna fight, we were on the same card in Virginia when I was fighting Viviani, and I saw her fight, and I was like, oh wow, she did really good. She did really well. I wonder if we're gonna fight sometime, and now we are.
Oh wow, yeah. The rumor is that this fight is for the number one contendership. Has the UFC said anything like made it official, or is it just kind of an idea that was floated out there?
When I took the fight, that's kind of what they were telling me because I really wanted to fight and they didn't want me because I was like trying to get a fight anywhere. I was trying to fight at 125. But they told me, you know what, we want this to be that, and so I waited. So if it's not, then that would be disappointing since I waited for the matchup. You know,
Yeah. Yeah,
well, because
I think this is it. I think you're in line. You're number three in the world. You get another win over Nina, who's, I mean, at least in the top 10. How do you not get a title shot off that?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean those are my thoughts as well. But you never know with the UFC. You
True, yeah,
never know.
you never know. You got Kobe Covington out there, just
Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
doing his own thing, skipping lines and whatnot. But yeah, I hope you
Hmm.
get the title shot if you win, because I would
Me
love to
too.
see
I
you
would say,
against you against Rose or Jessica. I think would be a fantastic fight.
Yeah, I do
I
too.
would
Yeah.
say, I would say, especially if you go out here and put on a dominant performance, like because your performances have been very, very, very dominant. So if you win this fight, Tatiana, if you don't get the title shot, there'll be a lot of disappointed people out there.
Yeah. I think someone said like if I didn't get the title shot, they were gonna riot, which was really funny. I was like, dude, that's cool that you would riot for me or even say that. It was just really funny to me. But yeah, I know that Michelle was advocating for her title shot as well. Um, but in all disrespect to her, but I don't do all due respect to her, but I really don't believe that she deserves it. So, um, that's a different story.
Oh, oh, that's what. Speaking, no, we're gonna jump into that different story because I wanted to ask you about that. So Michelle Waterson made the statement, that okay, this is crazy. It's crazy some of the things that some fighters say, knowing what has happened. She was on talking to Ariel Helwani. She said she feels like she's been in the UFC longer than you. She's fought better opponents than you. That she feels like she's in line for the title shot. But then Tatiana, you being the beast that you are, you jump on Twitter. Somebody tweeted you something, and you said, you ducked the fade. You ducked the fade. So I mean, tell us about that.
Well, see, the thing is, when I told you, like, I had been looking for, a matchup and stuff, and Mick Maynard had told me, like, I'm looking for fights for you, blah blah blah, and my coach came back was like, oh, you know what, I think that he's waiting for Nina and Claudia, and I was like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, we asked. He's like, he said something like, oh, well, Michelle Waterson turned it down, so I think he's just gonna wait for Claudia and Nina to fight and see who wins that fight, and then you're probably gonna fight them. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I was like, oh, and I didn't really care, but then like I saw that like a couple weeks later she was gonna fight Carolina, and I thought, oh well, it's really funny, like, you know, um, I didn't really like at that time. I didn't really care. Like I was like, oh, that's cool, good matchup, whatever. But then like she starts saying like, oh, I think this gets me in line for a title shot and this and that. I was like, wait a minute, like you dodged me and to go and fight somebody else and then say that you should deserve a title shot. I was like, okay. To me, I'm like, okay, if you're the best and you believe you're the best in the world, you shouldn't be ducking anybody, really. I'm like, to me, it just seemed like she thought that Carolina would be a better matchup for her in terms of matchup, like skill set wise, in terms of somebody she could probably beat, and she knew, if she fought me, that I was gonna go over there and take her down and dominate her, and she didn't want that. So
I 100% agree. Her last three opponents, she's been able to take down and control. She ain't doing that to Tatiana Suarez. You're just not.
No,
yeah.
And like, I love Michelle, but she's ranked 7, and her wins are all by decision. Tatiana's ranked 3, and she's just out there finishing everyone.
Right.
I don't even know how is the debate. Michelle needs at least one win, and Tatiana's fighting for a title at the end of the year. That's just what it is.
Yeah, I agree. Like, she's saying that she fought, better opponents than me or whatever, and that she's been in the top 10, but she's a decisioner,
Mm-hmm.
she's a decisioner, and like, I don't, I'm just like, okay, like and like she barely scraped by with her Courtney Casey. I mean, it could arguably have gone the other way, so I'm just like, okay, like, I just don't feel like, I don't know. It's like she wants to be this mom champ or whatever. It's like, what, you're gonna win? You're hoping just to get the opportunity to fight for the belt, and if you happen to win, what's gonna happen when I get up there then?
Yeah.
So real quick, Tatiana, I just want to get I want to get a nice little quote out of you, Tatiana. If Michelle Waterson is a decisioner, then what does that make you?
A finisher.
Tatiana.
Dominant. No.
Say that one minute. Say that one more time.
I said maybe a dominator. I said, too bad my name's not Dominique.
Oh boy, Tatiana Suarez. Y'all hear it, man. I can't make this. We can't make this up, man. I mean, y'all hear this. So, I mean, really. So, Tatiana, speaking of name, we don't have a fight name, Tatiana. What's the deal with that?
I never, I just like never like my coaches are trying to like give me names. I'm like, oh, it's stupid. Like I just didn't like anyone. And and then once I, people started giving me better names. Like I think someone said the problem child, or someone said something. They keeps calling me the problem. They're like, Tatiana's gonna be a problem with this division, and blah blah blah. But she's a problem for everybody, blah blah blah. So now they call me the problem child. I was like, oh, I like that. That's funny. But at this point, I'm just kind of like, why change it up?
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I was gonna suggest TSP. I mean, because you got
Oh,
GSP. Listen, GSP was one of the most dominant heavyweight mother effers. I mean, not heavyweight, welterweight mother effers, Tatiana. And y'all, I mean, you know what I'm saying? GSP, and then you got TSP, who's down in strawweight doing the same thing. I mean, hey,
I mean, people call me that. Like, I'm cool with that, but like, I wouldn't like say it would be like my fight name. You guys can call me that if you want.
all right, all right. We refer to her. We refer to her from now on, Taylor. For the rest of this interview, we are talking to TSP. Okay. All right. All right. So, all right. So, let me ask you these questions, Tatiana. Excuse me, TSP. How do you feel that you match up with either Rose or Jessica Andrade? Because you seen Jessica Andrade knocked Karolina Kowalkiewicz back to Poland, okay? And and Rose Namajunas, you know what I'm saying? She put on, I mean, to beat Joanna Jędrzejczyk in a striking match, that's pretty impressive. Twice, and she did it twice. So, how do you feel you match up with either one of those girls?
I feel like I match up pretty well with both of them. I think definitely Andrade is the stronger of the two women. I think probably, maybe, I don't know. It
Right,
seems to be. But I just with Rose, I just don't see her, you know, um, really being able to out grapple me at all. And I'm very long as well, so I mean, I'm very long and I'm very rangy. Like, I know how to use my range pretty well. Like, if you see in a lot of my
right,
fights, you really don't see me getting hit too much, even when I'm on the feet. Like, and
right.
if you watch like most of my fights, like, I'm the one landing the kicks and stuff. And
Yeah, yeah,
like,
like
I
for real.
that
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
part two.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, TSP, baby.
But yeah, like, so that, and I think, I'm very long. I know how to use my kicks well, and obviously I know how to wrestle, and I just don't think she's gonna be able to out grapple me at all. Like, I don't see it at all. And you know what, the thing for me is, before, like, I did mostly like a lot of, like, just the jiu-jitsu, but I focused a lot on my ground and pound my last camp, and I'm going to do so this camp as well. So I just think, like, me combining my jiu-jitsu with my ground and pound is just getting more and more vicious, and I think
Yeah,
that will make it even more difficult for people to deal with um, my grappling as well, when I start adding all this ground and pound as well. Um,
right, yeah,
and then, with Andrade, I don't see that she really knows any wrestling. That's really at all. She just kind of like powers and throws people down and stuff like that. And I think she's been able to, like, um, beat people that are just not as strong as her, But I'm very strong, and I don't see her bullying me around at all. And
Ooh,
her aggressiveness would work well for me in terms of my wrestling.
you, you know, Tatiana, I was saying the same thing. I said the same thing. I said, man, that's gonna she come charging forward at Tatiana Suarez. Tatiana Suarez been done grabbed her and took her down. That's what
Mm.
I said the same thing. What you think, Taylor?
Yeah, so
Well, what?
I'd rather see you fight Jessica Andrade. I think that'd be more interesting because of her power, and she kind of just tries to bully people around, and so do you. So I think it'd be insane to watch you two just meet in the middle and see what happens.
Yeah, I see myself taking her back and choking
Oh, all
Oh
right,
Lord.
all right.
Oh, that's TSP, man. I told you that's the future.
I
Hey,
you know what? Like, other than I don't remember, her too many of her fights at 135. I don't know how she did. I didn't see that at all. I just think she was fighting at the wrong weight class.
right. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. So Tatiana, I want to ask you about a few girls in that division. I mean, you worked your way up. You worked your way up. But some, and a lot of people say that you are the future champion of that division. Um, and a lot of girls coming up through that weight class that would pose a lot of problems to a lot of people. I just want to throw a couple of names at you and tell me what you think. What about Macy Barber? Macy Barber looks to be doing well at flyweight and at strawweight. What do you think about her if she was to continue to stay at strawweight?
I don't really know. I really can't like tell because she's like fought like, and the first girl she fought was like, I don't know. The girl took it short notice. The girl wasn't really like, artist on the ground. She did a lot of stand up. The girl, once she got it to the ground, it was easy for her to dominate the girl, but the girl didn't seem to really know anything on the bottom. And I do think she has some power there, but I don't know. I haven't seen enough of her really. Like how can we tell from two performances where, just kind of like, I don't know, the girls weren't any type of grapplers at all either. Just kind of like she had good matchups in terms of they both would stand with her, and she wants to stand, but then also like on the ground, the girls weren't very good on the ground. So, well, just one of the girls, I think. So I really don't know. I can't make a conclusion, but by just one or two, matchups.
Yeah.
I would love to see that fight because I think Tatiana would destroy her, and I'm tired of Macy Barber being all cocky and shit like she did something.
It's hard to gauge off of this. Like I think it's crazy. Like people will see like one performance and they're like, they're the next big
Yeah.
heck? Like I can't even tell. Like they always ask me like even with guys, and I'm like I can't tell. And it's like it's no hate like. In my division, like I don't care, like I don't really know. I couldn't tell you, So people are like, "Are you just jealous?" I'm like, "What the
heck?" Yeah, I'm ranked number 3 in the world. I'm crushing every girl they put in front of me. You're right. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you like, and they do that with the guys too. It's hard for me to like really be excited with a person until they really really prove themselves and. Against multiple people that, I feel like should cause them problems. Like, they're like, oh, how will Tatiana do with another wrestler? Well, you saw that.
Yeah, Carla Esparza.
Yeah.
Right. And a former champion. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So,
it seems... Go ahead, Tatiana.
Well, yeah. So I just for me, like I don't care. Like some people still are not like they don't believe in me still, and I really don't care. Like I'm just like that's fine. I'll keep proving. It doesn't matter to me. My true fans are there, and like the people that really truly support me are there for me, and that's all that matters to me, really.
Well, it seems like you know what I'm saying. The casual people. Now, people like us, we know what's up. Like we know, you know what I'm saying, what you are capable of and what a fighter like you is capable of. But to the casual masses out there, it seems like, when you see a person who is a dominant grappler, you know what I'm saying, they tend to think that person tends to be the underdog in their eyes. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand that. It seems like when it's a striker versus grappler, people favor the striker. What's your response to that?
I mean, I guess it depends on the level of striker versus, grappler. I mean, really, I've seen, not so good wrestlers or they're like okay wrestling and then they'll go in there and they can't take the person down. And so the striker ends up winning, but I mean, it could easily be the other way around. Like, for instance, recently Yancy Medeiros, who's a really good stand-up fighter, fought Gregor Gillespie and he got finished, and Yancy's a freaking, he's a beast, he's a beast, and he what, huh?
No, I'm just agreeing. Go ahead.
Oh, and he just wasn't able to deal with Gregor, his wrestling abilities. So, man, it just really depends on the level of the athletes, I would say.
But Tatiana, the way you just described him as a beast, people will describe you as a beast.
I'd even go as far as saying a savage.
pretty much. I mean, that's what I'm saying. How does it feel to be a beast? TS, TSP. My bad, TSP.
I don't feel like I don't know. I feel it when I'm in practice, but I just do it like because I love it. I don't really like go out there like, oh, I'm a beast and this. Like I'm just like, man, this is what I'm like. Basically, what I feel like I was made to do. Like if I'm not competing, like then it's not really me. I'm like, man, like I go out there to just. I love it. There's no other way like around it. Like I just love it, and I love everything about it. I love it from the weight cut. I love it from the process of cutting the weight, like from Monday, I love the camp. I love challenging myself every day. I love pushing myself every day. And then to the fight, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, dang, man, now it's over. I'm like, damn, that sucks.
Taylor,
Now I got another 6 months.
Taylor, you know Tatiana Suarez is a beast when this girl says she loves cutting weight.
True, yeah. No, I've literally never heard anyone say that. Like cutting weight, yes.
I mean, I wouldn't say like I literally love it, but I feel like it's like just one of those things where it's like necessary as a process of putting your body through something that puts itself in survival mode, and the next day you're fighting, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm more nourished now, and I'm way more healthy now, but I'm still in that survival mode, and now I'm put in the cage and I'm expected to fight, which is for me, like, I feel like it makes you mentally stronger and physically stronger. I would say more mentally because, you like did that and now you're like, yeah, now it's time, and you just did this hard weight cut and you just had this hard camp. And I just really feel like it's like one of those things, it's like a preparation, preparation for your fight. I don't know, I'm weird.
No, it makes sense. I wrestled in high school, like not the level you did, but yeah, same thing. Like you learn a lot about yourself when you're cutting weight and you're in survival mode and it's fight or flight. You learn a lot about yourself mentally and physically and what you're capable of doing. And then if you could tap into that repeatedly and fighting, it's better for you. That's why everyone says the best background to come from is wrestling, because there's not a harder place than a wrestling practice room in high level. It's a different level of experience, a different level of animal that it takes to be in there, to survive, and to come out on top.
No, it's true. Just all the mental preparation, I really feel like is really taxing when it comes to wrestling. Like people are always like, man, the hardest thing for me is wrestling practice, and it's true. Like when I start wrestling during sparring, I'm like, damn, this is way harder. Like if I just go sparring, I'm like, okay, I can do this all day. When I start wrestling, I'm like, well, I can do this all day, but this is hard,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But it's just, but it's necessary. That's why some practices I do it because I know I need to do it to push myself, and then other practices I just solely do stand up as well. So.
And Justin Gaethje said that same thing. It's the reason he doesn't wrestle. It's because of wrestling fatigue. He doesn't want to get tired, so he'll get punched in the face 10 times because he'd rather do that than get tired trying to wrestle.
Oh my gosh! I thought he only did that because he just wanted to be like he wanted to knock people out.
Oh yeah, he said that, but then like everyone's asking like, why do you keep saying you need to wrestle and you don't? And he was like, I don't want to get tired because wrestling is hard and punching people is easy.
Oh my god, he's insane. Yeah,
He's
I mean
a
it's
savage.
it's true. I mean wrestling's very tiring. So, but I feel like if you're a good wrestler and you've done it a million times, once you tap into that zone, it's just a zone. That's exactly what it is. Like my coaches will be shouting stuff at me and I won't even hear nothing. I'm in black, just mode, just blacked out. Like, okay, kill something. I don't know what's going on.
Heard. So Tatiana, what made you go from wrestling to MMA?
Well, at first I was just, I ended up taking some time off because of my cancer and my neck injury. And then I ended up, someone asked me if I knew any girls that wanted to fight. I told them, yeah, me. And then they're like, really? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, okay. So they took me to the gym. I started doing BJJ first, so jujitsu. And they were like, oh, wow, like, you're catching on really quickly, this and that. And then I was like, I'm at a mixed martial arts gym, a gym where there's fighters, I'm like, this is something I probably like to do. So I started sparring, and I just, like, literally, like, I would spend hours and hours and hours at the gym just learning how to pull, learning how, just punching and kicking, and just I fell in love with the sport, and it's pretty awesome. I love the sport because it challenges me in different ways every day. Every day is a new challenge. So, and I like, setting a goal for myself that day and just like succeeding. Even if I don't succeed, I know like the next day I have the opportunity to do the same thing and try again.
Yeah. Tatiana, you know what? I feel like you about to go in here. I feel like you're going to go in here and knock Nina Ansaroff out. Like, I've been wanting to say that. Like, I've been wanting to let people know that I feel like Tatiana Suarez is going to get her first knockout victory. Because one thing you can't sleep on is a grappler who can throw hands, a wrestler who can throw hands. Wrestlers will crack you before you can even think about it. But look at Tyron Woodley. Look at examples like Misha Tate. Examples,
what Khabib did to Conor when he dropped him in that third round.
Oh yeah, like Khabib. You know what I'm saying? Like a wrestler can crack. And I feel like I said, I said Tatiana. Then I keep, you always say, I do a lot of training in stand up fighting, and we see that, and we see glimpses of that in a lot of your fights. I feel like you might get your first knockout, Tatiana.
We'll see. That wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but you never know.
You never know. Hey, Tatiana said, "No, Tatiana said she about to go ahead."
Hmm?
No, I said Tatiana said she about to go ahead smaller.
Man,
so
I go in there. It's crazy. I never go in there with like a game plan. I just go and I do, and whatever comes to me comes, and I just kind of go with the flow. And a lot of times, like, I mess up, I'm like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. But you know what? It's good because like I always have the opportunity to grow and get better and like change it the next time, So it's a good thing.
So TSP, what do you do for fun?
What do I what?
What do you do for fun when you're not fighting? When you're not in training camp?
I don't really have fun. I'm a very active person. Like I love running, I love biking, I love hanging out with my dogs. I have a lot of dogs. And I'm not very like I don't really go out or anything like that. I don't drink, nothing like that. So I'm pretty much like, just an active person. I like to be in the gym. Every time, even if I'm not like, in a camp, I'm always doing, some type of martial art, and I'm always lifting because I want to definitely get stronger and stronger and stronger, and then I always work on my cardio. Like I enjoy knowing that, I can push myself, like, and I love pushing myself. So I like any type of like hard cardio workout. I love to run, which some people hate running. I love it. I can do it all the time. My dog, she tries to accompany me, but usually I have to return her or she's gonna like hyperventilate or die maybe.
Yeah, that's if you can get a dog to physical exhaustion, that's impressive.
Oh yeah, she's a pit bull. She's really, really like good, but she just, I mean, it's too long for her. I mean, I've ran 3 miles. I dropped her off and ran another 3 miles, because it's just too much for her. And I don't run like slow miles. All my miles are under at least 6:30 or less. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean that's a slow day. I've done, I've done 3 one time. I didn't train for it, but I did it in like 15 something. It's pretty wild.
Did
So
I
at least
already tell you that you're a savage?
no.
A purebred savage. Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
that's insane.
So in other words, what you're saying, Tatiana, is you can go all day. You ain't nobody gonna outwork you in that cage.
Well, I definitely prepared not to be outworked. Yeah, I mean, I like having good cardio, and I think, I just never want to give up something because I'm too tired.
Yeah, absolutely.
But my fights, I definitely have to be in top condition because I'm not like, it's not easy work, freaking out wrestling someone and pummeling them and out grappling them for 15 minutes.
Yeah, so your style is very cardio heavy.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes. It is. She just threw callers. Poor Carla. I feel bad for Carla Esparza, man. I did.
Friend said that. She's like, oh my God, like, I love you, but I actually felt bad for her. I was like, oh. I was like,
Man,
I win.
I said before the fight, I said, man, this is gonna be a good fight. I said,
Oh yeah, me too. It's gonna be very tactical. It's gonna be kind of close. We'll see. And then Tatiana was like, "No, check this out."
yeah, because Carla had just come off of that fight with Claudia Gadelia, which I thought Carla Esparza won that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, her reward was getting destroyed by Tatiana.
And then she goes on. I said, I said, I said this. I said, Carla Esparza's stand up looks really good. I said, but Tatiana's got the reach. I said, and then the wrestling. I said, if it goes to the ground, Tatiana's going to dominate. But as soon as the fight started, I was like, oh boy. The first takedown, I was like, oh boy. Tell us how, what it was, how she felt when, tell us about that fight. Talk to us a little bit about that particular fight.
It pretty much went the way I said it was gonna go. I told everybody I was gonna dominate the fight. I told them that there was levels to this wrestling game, grappling game,
Oh boy.
and I just it was good to just finally like kind of show against somebody who was well known for the wrestling in the division. I really I just kind of wanted to prove that to everybody because they kept saying like, oh, this might be a good matchup, and I just my boyfriend was like, are you kidding, you're gonna kill her? And I was like, I know, but I mean, I gotta go do it, I mean, I think things, but I have to go prove those things. So for me, I think it in my head, but it doesn't, it doesn't feel good until it's actually there, and then I can actually show it off and show, my skills. That's like the most exciting for me. And not even like for people, but just for myself, to actually show myself that like, yeah, you're going to be the best in the world. So.
Yeah. Well, you're in a very good position, Tatiana, and you earned your spot. That's one thing I can say. Everyone can say. Tatiana didn't talk her way to the top. She didn't loudmouth her way to the top. Tatiana whooped ass to get where she's at. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I like about you too. Now, if you was let's say Tatiana goes on, TSP goes on and wins this strawweight belt. Taylor, let's talk like we talk, bro.
Okay.
If Tatiana Suarez wins this belt, potential matchup with Valentina Shevchenko at 125.
Oh, I've never even thought of that. Wow.
TSP, what would you think if something like that was to happen?
Wow, I told everybody that that's what I was going to try to do, so, I'm looking, right now I'm set on Nina, and then, and then that, but like right now I'm like focused on that. It's hard to like look past somebody, so.
Oh yeah, no, we don't want you to look past her, definitely not.
But that's definitely, something I'm looking forward to, not forward to, but I know that's in my future that I will eventually just, try the 125 division. It'd be nice not to cut any. I mean, I will cut like maybe, let's see, 25, maybe 2 pounds, maybe, because I walk around like a 128, so to 126 or 120. Well, I guess 3 pounds if you really want to. If I'm fighting for the title, so
Yeah.
3 pounds, which shit,
I
I
don't cut weight at all, man. That's
could
crazy.
skip
I
a
would
meal.
have thought you had to cut a little bit more.
Oh no. I walk around at like when I'm not, when I'm not like in camp or anything, I walk around at 130. When I get into camp, I'm around 128. And then when the fight week starts, I'm around 126. So I usually cut 9 pounds.
That's nothing, man.
That is nothing.
You can do that in your
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy to cut 9 pounds, but it's definitely not 15 pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
yeah. 'Cause I was thinking, because like Joanna,
I know Joanna and Claudia cut more than me. But that's why I thought it was crazy when Claudia said she could make Adam weight. I was like, what the freak? I was like, oh heck no, because when I was on the show, she was weighing like 145, and I've like never weighed that much since I've been a strawweight.
145.
Yeah, she was weighing 145. So was Joanna.
Yeah, Joanna, she gets big. She gets a lot of people. A lot of people don't think she walks around in the 140s, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and TSP just confirmed it, so I know it's real now. She's a
Yeah,
big, strong.
I mean, I didn't see Joanna's weight for myself, but the girls on her team told me that's what she weighed. That's what she was walking around at. And this
Yeah,
was before Joanna and Claudia fought. So, and I know like when Claudia showed up, she was saying, like when we're like over there, she's like, "Oh yeah, I weighed 135," and I was like, "What?" And I was weighing like 126, going into this fight. I was like,
yeah.
"You have to cut that much weight?" Like I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like I was in awe.
That's a
That
lot of weight. That's a lot
Yeah,
of weight.
that's unhealthy.
And Cyborg was cutting close to, a lot of shit. Cyborg was walking around 170.
Yeah, I mean, she's good. I mean, shit. I mean, but I mean, you know, I couldn't imagine. I would never cut that much weight. That's insane. I mean, that's not healthy
Yeah,
at
you
all.
should. Yeah, you should never cut that much weight in general. Anyone.
No, I'm not good. No bueno. So yeah, I'm just tall and I'm lean, and that's just the way I'm built. It makes me appear a lot taller.
Really tough. When you walk into as far as I said, Tatiana looked like she like 5'7". I was like, what? Then it said 5'5". I said, Tatiana Suarez look like she's like 5'7". Man, that's crazy. So okay, Tatiana. So we in fight time, we're really not that far out from the Nina Ansaroff fight. So tell us, one, how you're training, what you're doing right now in training, and then as it gets closer to fight time, how does your training change? When it gets closer to fight week.
Um, I would say like right now I'm not in camp yet. I would say I think like on the 8th I'm going to be in camp or like around that. But I've been training hard. I haven't taken like any days off or anything like that. I've been training hard anyways, but just not that as many hours. Like I'll train hard, but just not hard as many hours as I do in camp. So as camp progresses, the training hours